Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Hi, I'm back. If you're new here, I'm Shriyam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is so weird to do in my room alone, but I'm doing it regardless. These are the confessions of a former bully. Yes, I was a bully for a very long time when I was a teenager, actually. Alright, so I'm going to take you through a few things, right? The exact timelines, how I bullied people, why I bullied people, what went on to happen, what are the repercussions I faced, what happens now, blah blah. Cool, this is going to be a long video, so if you don't have the bandwidth, save to watch later. Or watch it on 2x or get a snack. That's what I always do. I always have my coffee right here. Alright. So when I was growing up, I was a very Sidhu bacha. Now let me explain what a Sidhu bacha is. I was the kind of kid who was very meek, very quiet. I would let anybody and everybody take me for a ride. I was pretty buddhu actually because I was the first child of the house and I live in a joint family. So I was pretty well sheltered, right? Like I didn't really know what being bullied means because everybody doted on me that much. I know I'm very lucky. And then I went on to school and I remember I went for a vacation and I was, I think, 5 years old when I went for a vacation. And then I came back and I gained all this weight. I was super athletic as a kid still. I was kind of a tomboy because I didn't fit in. I would play all kinds of sports. I would mostly hang out with boys because I did not know how to act like a girl. I did not know what it meant to like fairies and Dora the Explorer and everything that girls my age would like at that time. And I also didn't know that this pretense of being a boy wouldn't last very long because, as puberty has it, you grow a pair of tits and then suddenly you're not boy enough and you're not girl enough because you never grew up being a girl. So I went for this vacation. I gained a lot of weight. I came back super chubby and plump, and I also got a lot of confidence because I went for that vacation alone with my mom. And I have very good memory, guys. Just by the way, if this sounds like how do you know all this? You were 5. You can ask anyone I know. Literally, I remember every single detail of every single day. I don't know. It's a boon and a bane at the same time. So I came back from this vacation. With the weight, I also gained a lot of confidence because I was kind of promoted to do like a bunch of tasks alone, whether it was cleaning the house that we were living in or, going and shopping for things by myself, which I never really got the opportunity to do here in Delhi. And then I went to school, continued to be this tomboy, and somewhere around third, fourth grade, I realized that, hey, like when you hang out with boys, like if you tease people and if you make fun of them, you're kind of lauded for that. Like I remember doing these stupid ass fucking bets ki you give me like fucking 200 rupees or whatever, I'm gonna drink this whole glass of momo chutney, like spicy shit. I was literally just playing. Alright, I did not know any better. And then I went on to this big school right after fifth grade. I went on to this big school in sixth grade. After the summer vacation, suddenly I grew boobs. Suddenly my hair was longer. Suddenly I was allowed to make a ponytail and not a choti like my mom used to do forever. Suddenly I had to grasp the concept of what it was to wear a bra. And I went to sixth grade and my school was DPS RK. So it was a huge school. It was like so many people there that it actually made you want to like crawl inside your skin and stay there. And for somebody who's super easily overstimulated like I am, I'm not a very make 10,000 kinds of noises around me and I'm going to be completely fine kind of person. I need my space to shine and thrive. And I've realized that now over the years, right? So I went to this new school with a lot of new people who come from a lot of privileges, by the way. And I did not have that privilege. Like my parents were not willing to give me the same privileges that everybody around me had. I was not allowed to go places. I grew up in a pretty strict environment. My parents were never like, oh yeah, go to the mall alone and get a coffee. And I grew up in Delhi, just for context. And to me, that was really jarring because I always felt like a misfit. So I started making up these huge, elaborate stories of how I went for vacation and all these boys liked me and all that stuff because my real life really had nothing going on. I would come back from school, maybe go to tuition. I used to have like multiple classes that I used to go for, and that's it. While my other friends used to party it up, I guess. And I also didn't know how to make my place there. And so in school, I started making fun of people a lot. And at the time when I was doing this, in my head, I was just doing what everybody around me was doing. I was mimicking, I was doing exactly what was presented to me, not just at home, but also amongst my peers, right? Because even at home, I had so many siblings and we just kept faffing with each other. It was never something that was taken to heart or something that was taken personally. But at 13, 14, you don't realize why you cross the boundary and it stays with someone forever. right? I remember this incident wherein my lunches that I used to take to school, like my tiffins used to be really ass because, again, like I told you, both my parents were working and my house help did the best that they could. So my tiffins were really ass. So I would go and try to eat everyone's tiffin, right? And this one girl could not eat lunch because she was so afraid to say no to me. And I got to know this after I passed out of school, all right? And I was just like, this is messed up what I was doing. I did not realize what I was doing. And after years of therapy and after years of kind of sitting with myself and being like, cool, like what was the reason that you were being such an absolute bitch, all right? For the lack of a better word, I would make fun of the way people looked. I would make fun of their choices in food. I would make fun of the music they heard. I would make fun of their skin, acne, literally. I remember I had such bad humor that I would make people feel bad about who they were. And that is so uncalled for. I don't have an explanation of what was going on in my head. But what I have tried to do post realizing all this, and if people have bullied have reached out to me now because I have a platform and they've been like, we wish you were like this in school because you know you made us feel like shit. I have tried to apologize and apologize and apologize to them as much as I can because I feel like it was such a shitty thing to do because those are the years that stay with you. There are so many things that people have said to me that have still stayed with me and they paint my current reality. And imagine I said something that stayed with somebody else that paints their current reality. And that thing was awful. So the confessions of a former bully include A, hurt people hurt people. This is not a Tumblr post. This is not something you just read on Facebook and you can skip across and just be like, cool, yeah, like, what a cliche thing to say. That is absolutely not true. I was a misfit. I was a cocky motherfucker who did not know what having a voice meant at home because I had so many siblings and I was made to be an adult super fast in life. So I would try to be like a boisterous child boy that I had learned when I was growing up, well into my teens, right? Which was extremely fucked up. Number two, you realize how awful it feels to be bullied when it happens to you. Again, let me come back to this, right? After 8th grade, I went to boarding school in Jaipur, and this was an experience I had really never had because before that, like I told you, my parents were super strict. I was not allowed to really go anywhere, and even if I did, I was so rebellious because इतनी सी मुझे freedom मिलती थी उसमें मैं बोलती थी मैं सब कर लूँ. So I got into really bad habits. I started smoking cigarettes out of nowhere for no reason. I started drinking in 8th, 9th grade, which was really fucked up. And then I went to boarding school where there were kids from all over India with, again, immense privilege, like so much privilege that I had never seen in my life, even more so than Delhi, because they came from wealth. Delhi people, yes, they came from money, but they did not come from wealth. They came from freedom, they came from money, and they came from like parents who were their friends. I never had that. My parents are not my friends, my parents are my parents, all right? So I went to boarding school with all these wealthy ass motherfuckers. And in 10th grade, I remember my family took a huge financial hit. And 10th grade is the year that you're supposed to decide where to go to college. Because my school was super preppy, all right? You know, money was never a concept that was discussed. It was never like, is this tuition fee something you can afford? Or do you want to talk to your parents about it? Or do you need a guidance counselor to walk you through how these payments will affect your future? Would you want to take a loan? None of this. It was just, this is the tuition fee. You have to pay it by blah, blah, blah date. Otherwise, well, your future is doomed. That was the kind of pressure that was put on us. And again, like when you're surrounded by so much privilege, you don't realize that you're actually a misfit because everybody else around you has so much money that you're just like, oh, like maybe I deserve all these things, maybe I'm entitled to all these things because you just accept it as normal, right? I was in a bubble. I used to eat, breathe, live shit with the same people. So in 10th grade, whatever the financial hit happened, I remember I used to be pulled out of class because you know my tuition fee was late, or I used to be made to feel really small because I couldn't apply to NYU, which is by the way the most expensive schools in the world. And I gave my parents a lot of grief for it, but I was still made to feel a little small for it because I was also fat. So all my clothes were from like Sarojini or my mom's closet, and all my friends had like the newest Nikes, they had AirPods, and I'm still using the same laptop that I bought in school back then. So I'm not saying I did not have privilege. I'm just saying it was way lesser compared to the people around me. Now that's one thing that made me feel small. Number two, in 11th grade, till 11th grade, I was still like a pretty boisterous tomboy. ही बोल लो मुझे और मेरे को पता नहीं है मैं इसको कैसे describe करूँ. But in 11th grade, like everybody started questioning my character and morality for again making really normal 17, 18-year-old teenage choices. I remember the extent of my bullying. It got so bad that I found out that there was a whole Facebook group with 50 people who were in my class talking trash about me on that group. Just imagine. And things like इसको रेलवे ट्रैक पे फेंक दो जहाँ से आई है, 10 रुपए भी नहीं होंगे समोसा खाने के लिए, and shit like that, and it really affects the self-esteem of a 17-year-old. From someone who had 15,000 friends, like everybody knew me, to now 50 people who are hating on me and my character and my morality so bad that they want to chuck me on a railway station. And these are the same people, by the way, who will now message me and be like, we always knew you had it in you. No, bitch, you didn't. You're a fucking turd. I'm gonna just say it out in the open. So in 12th grade, I lost all my friends and I also lost a piece of my dignity because in my heart of hearts, I kind of thought I deserved all this, right? After everything I had put people through, I was like, I'm not gonna stand up for myself. I'm not gonna say anything to these people. I'm gonna deal with it with grace and I'm gonna get out of the school because I did some bad when I was growing up and now obviously, karmically, I deserve this shit that's happening to me. So I did not say a single word to anyone, and it got so bad. The bullying got so bad, I shit you not, that in the middle of my boards, I was sitting in bio class and I felt my heart pound out of my chest. And this had been happening for a few days. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna breathe through this. I'm gonna calm down. I'm not gonna feel bad about this. All right, I'm gonna breathe. And I had a full blown panic attack. I was sitting on one of those swivelly chairs because we had bio class in the lab, and I felt like I was dying. I had to go back home because I had a panic attack at 17 years old. I went back home and unfortunately, at 18 years old, sorry. Unfortunately, I don't know what was happening in Delhi at that time, but nobody was talking about anxiety, nobody was talking about panic attacks, nobody was talking about stress, nobody was talking about cortisol. I went to every single doctor. I got my CT scan done, I got my lungs checked, I got my breathing reviewed, I got my blood reports, I got every single thing done. And obviously, there was nothing, right? I know that now because I've been in therapy for 4 years, but back then, I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. And I shit you not, the doctor handed me a Bhagavad Gita and a lollipop and told me to buck up, champ. I just need a moment of silence for this amount of blasphemy because I don't know what else to do here. Alright? Anyway, I went back to school. Again, my morale was really down because, again, like I wanted to just reiterate, nobody believed in me. Everybody was like, you're not gonna make it. You have loose character because I was dating someone and I drank when I was 18. I fucking don't even ask. Did all that shit, right? Went back to school, worked my ass off, got into university with a scholarship, did better than every single one of the fucks who thought I wouldn't do better, thought I'd redeem myself, right? Went to college. What I did not realize was how much this bullying and this inner turmoil affected me. I reached college and again, I was used to living alone, so it didn't really bother me. Even though I was in a different continent, I was pretty much okay with the fact that my parents weren't around because मैं 4 साल से रही नहीं उनके साथ in my formative years. I just didn't live with my parents. So I was like, कितना ही बुरा हो सकता है. I made a bunch of friends, but I always had like 15,000 walls up. Alright? And again, the financial stress, so let's not even talk about it because I had to get a job the minute I went there because I was like, I have needs. Let's be honest, I have a bougie lifestyle and I like to upgrade it every single year. That's something I've been doing since I was fucking 18. I do it every single time. So I got a job at a sushi restaurant. Again, nobody else I knew had a job. I was trying to hustle my way. I bought myself a new iPhone. I tried to like figure out what I want to do next. COVID happened. I lost all my friends because I never learned what it was like to have strong foundations and good boundaries. I shit you not, up until Appu and the kind of relationship that I've had with her, again, not something that was not chaotic, guys. You have to believe the kind of work that two people have to do to be friends. I have no friends from school except one friend who is my ride or die. She left school in 10th grade also, which made my life hell. I have no friends from college. Literally, like I have a few friends who are now again fizzled out into being acquaintances because I don't know how to rely on them. That is the fucking deep effect that bullying can have on you. Now let's paint a picture of the current reality. Alright, I've been in therapy for 4 years. I have overcorrected with trying to apologize to all the people I have bullied, alright, because none of what I said, I have to be very clear with a disclaimer, nothing I said about anyone I bullied was ever about them. It was always about what would make me look funny, what would make me look cool, what would get me praise from my peers that already felt like I was out of place. Like, I remember in 8th grade, my best friend at the time sat me down and she was like, babe, you're fucking obnoxious. And that tag, okay, I didn't even know what the word meant back then. I didn't even know what the word meant. That word has stayed with me up until today. I think about it sometimes at night and I'm like, dude, am I being obnoxious? Like, am I too loud? Am I too much? Am I making too many jokes? Like, am I trying to like get people's attention? So again, and now when I think about it, probably had nothing to do with me. Like, even she was in 8th grade. I still don't hang out with people from my school time, like when I was in RK Puram, because it gives me the jitters. I'm just like, you're gonna talk about what I did when I was 14, and I don't wanna hear it. Because personally, like I said, I overcorrected to the point where I fucked up my whole life. So I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear what your thoughts are on my fucking how I made you feel small or whatever it is, because like I said, I have apologized. I don't want to sit there and be like, you did something so terrible to us that we still think of, because guess what? The next time I'm going to let someone do something so terrible to me, that's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. And call it selfish, call it self-preservation. I'm doing the best I can do as a 25-year-old now. I haven't met these people in, I want to say, 7 years. Again, they've reached out to me because I have a platform. My face is like everywhere on the internet. You know everything about my life, whatever I present to you on the internet, and it's very easy to get access to me. Everyone who has reached out to me, I've humbly apologized to them, because I genuinely do feel apologetic. Still doesn't take away from the fact that I made them feel this small. I have never responded to someone who has apologized to me. I don't think that they deserve salvation, neither do I, right? If you are being bullied, or if you are someone who is a bully, let me come to the people who are being bullied right now. You are going to be so cool when you grow up, alright? You are going to be the finest cream that the society has seen, okay? Here are a few reasons why. Number one, everything that they make fun of right now, whether it's your unique nose, or the fact that you put on weight easily, or the acne that you have on your face, that's going to be the most pivotal part of your story when you grow up. Think about me for a second. I was called loud, obnoxious, too boyish, and everything that I was called back then. I was too nerdy. I used to learn things really fast and then pretend like I don't know anything. According to people, I always knew everything. Sorry, I'm not modest. Those are my strongest suits now. I have built my whole career off of blabbering on the internet. I was called overconfident. Y'all want to be confident because I'm confident. That's the kind of change a voice can bring, alright? Number two, the reason that they are bullying you is because they want to feel better about themselves by bullying you. They could bully anyone. Baby girl, they could bully anyone, but they bully you. Think about that for 1 second. Think about that for 1 second, alright? Number three, this might be controversial, but you're gonna develop the funniest personality ever. My therapist thinks I'm hilarious, and it's because of this. I had so much fucking tea on myself, like so many observations on me, that now I can laugh at myself and let it roll off my back. Number four, the minute you realize the meaning of boundaries and what it actually means to stand up for yourself, your world will change. Number five, please speak about it. Don't do the stupid thing I did and be like, I'm not gonna say anything, like maybe I deserve it. Nobody deserves it, yaar. Nobody fucking deserves it. Oh, also, I'm giving you a big hug. I'm giving you a big, big, big hug. I love you so much. Alright, now coming to the bullies. Guys, this is not going to take you anywhere. You know, making fun of people, making them feel small about themselves. Now you have the internet, so there's more ways to make someone feel bad. It's just not it. You know, this clique that you think you're in, oh my god, I have 15 friends and they all love me because I'm so funny. They don't. Not one friendship of yours is built on strong truth, and you don't have a foundation that is not shaky. A bitch will leave the minute you have a bad day because you never show that you have a bad day. All you do is ha ha he he. That's not friendship. That's your standing ovation audience when you are doing stand-up comedy. Please understand. Alright? Number two, what goes around comes around. You best believe when I say this, it will come back and bite you in the ass. It is not something that will take you places. It will always, always hold you back. And when it happens to you, you will want to watch this video again, but this time it will be from the other perspective, and that's not fun either. That's not fun either. Alright? Number three, we're supposed to be the generation that is very inclusive because we have access to so many resources. Our world is so much bigger than our parents' was. And if we don't do service to that, what are we doing? If we don't make people feel welcome for who they are, if we don't make people feel seen for who they are, if we don't love people just as they are, what are we doing? I'm going to end this video with a small note to my younger self. I know what you did. I was really ashamed of it for a very long time. I see now that it was your survival instinct. I see now that it was you just trying to fit into a world that you felt was never made for you. I see now that you also knew in your heart of hearts that you're making people feel bad. And I forgive you. I don't know if anybody else does, but I forgive you. Do I ever want to go back to being you? No. Am I glad you were that person? Yes, because you made me who I am today. I love you. I'm sorry that it happened to you. I'm sorry I let it happen to you. Never again. We're never going to make people feel bad, and we're never going to let anyone make us feel bad about being ourselves. I want you to say that to yourself, no matter which category of people you belong to. Thank you for helping me become, and God, I hope I help you become. I love you as always. Mwah. See you in the next